If I'm not mistaken, we are live. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are, and welcome back to the L1X AMA. With me is Dr. Neeraj and Leono. You are all aware about who they are. So, the team has been working very hard on a couple of features, mainly with the swaps, and I'm very excited actually. On the 26th, we are going out with the direct swaps, right? So I mean, from the last few days, we have been working on certain numbers in terms of the cost, the time it takes for the direct swap, and while our competitors try to innovate, we have actually already innovated the way swaps will be done. So yeah, Dr. Neeraj and Leono, what have you been up to? Do you want to share it with the community?
Yeah, so again, like as you mentioned, we are working on the swaps. So I've been working mostly on the analysis, um, comparing it with the existing structure that we have and with the new ones as well, and how the direct swaps is going to like get down the price compared to other platforms as well, especially the time of processing.
Yes, Kevin. It has been interesting to work on the direct swap. So, definitely, it actually focuses on two things: reducing the price as well as fastening the process. So, it will be like a two-way benefit. Moreover, the user is also going to benefit. It's not the exchange or L1X as such; it is the user as well. So, it will be a win-win situation for all of us as such. So, yes, that is what we have been working on.
Yeah, yeah, and again, I also feel that if you think about it, right? Of course, the first innovation comes from the fact that you don't need an intermediary that allows you to go from one network to the other. Everything is controlled by smart contracts, and at the same time innovating on that bridgeless infrastructure where you can and we'll see through the numbers today where you can reduce not only your cost but also the time that it takes to go from one network to the other is a very progressive approach. And I think in today's world we're seeing that okay, it takes you 30 seconds, 40 seconds to go from one network to the other, and being a connector or uniting all the blockchains out there, definitely we have to rely on the other networks to finalize transactions. But I'm pretty certain that there will be a day where cross chain swaps will be possible in less than a second. So while we progress towards reducing the time and the cost that it takes, so that there are applications where it might not be feasible for them to use cross-chain swaps, maybe because of the cost that it takes or even the time. There will be a time where we are progressing right now and making these APIs available to the projects that might introduce new types of innovations built on top of the direct swap. So it's a very interesting time, and the whole team has been working, tirelessly on this. Today we have another form of demonstration on that, and I'm excited to demonstrate that to the community in the next AMA. But anyways, while we move towards that, Dr. Neeraj is here to share some numbers, share some findings that we had, mainly on the cost side of things when we use or compare direct swap to the other exchanges out there, and also with L1X, as a comparison. So yeah, Dr. Neeraj, all over to you.
Yes. Thanks, Kevin. I'll just share my screen and we'll have a look how switching to direct swap is going to save the cost as well as price with respect to the current exchanges that we had for comparison. I hope you are able to see my screen
Yeah.
where we have the sheet for the proposed fee and direct swap for the end user. Okay. So in this case, what we are going to see
Neeraj,
is, yes.
sorry, we can only see your StreamYard screen yet.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah, you'll have to switch the window.
Now are you able to see the Excel sheet?
You'll have to
No?
I think you'll have to share your screen again.
Okay. Is this visible now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So in this sheet, we are going to see that if, say, we want to transfer some USDCs from one network to other networks, how we are going to charge for the user when you connect through wallet, and second is directly without connecting to the wallet, which is nothing but the direct swap. So for this purpose, let us try to understand how this data has been structured. So first of all, we have this source column. So say for this set of transactions, we have Arbitrum as the source. For the next set, we have Avalanche as the source, and so forth and so on for, say, Binance, Ethereum, Optimism, Polygon, and Solana. And in the destination, we have all these networks, including L1X. So, what would a user be required to pay when he wants to transfer, say, some uh, amount of USDCs from this source to, say, this destination? So a fee actually consists of approval fee. So say when we want to initiate a swap, we connect our wallet, say for example, through MetaMask, and then we are required to, uh, a user is required to pay for the approval, and after that for the submission. So these are the basic fees that the user is required to pay. Apart from that, as an exchange, we charge for the base fee, we charge for the liquidity fee, and the stock fee. Plus, there is destination gas fee as well. So, what end user is paying is nothing but which is reflected in this column, which is proposed total. So, if you notice, say if I take an example of Binance, you'll be able to see 0.03 is the approval fee, zero point 0.4 is the submission fee, and you have some base fee and liquidity fee as per the source and the destination selected. Stock fee is constant as of now, and based on the destination gas fee, there is an amount that the end user will be required to pay. Okay, so this is the structure of the current proposed fee model. Now, say if you're not required to connect your wallet, but simply transfer the amount which is required, including the fees, to the exchange as such, in that case, the only call that would be required from the smart contract perspective would be transfer fee. In the sense, this approval and submission fee would be skipped, and only transfer would be required. So, what is the transfer fee as such? Say, if I want to transfer some amount of USDCs from, say, Binance to Arbitrum. Okay, so this transfer fee is actually based on the source network, because you're transferring this amount from the source wallet as such. So, for this purpose, we have taken Cryptoneur as one of the sources where you will be able to find the transfer fee easily. So, say for example, if I go to Cryptoneur and then say, as we know, that 21,000 units are required, gas units are required to carry out the transfer, then in that case, I'll be able to get what is the current fees with respect to the price of gas price for that respective network. So this is the way transfer fee has been actually taken or calculated, which is dependent on the source network. So if this is the case, what we can notice is that an end user would be required to pay only the transfer fee instead of the sum of approval and the submission fee. So, how much would an end user save as such? So, if you notice, this is the percentage of amount that the end user would save with respect to the difference between the transfer fee and the submission of the approval and the submission fee, which comes out to be a very high percentage if you notice. For example, the way we have taken Binance as the source. So if you notice in this case, your transfer fee is 0.0126. Okay, whereas our approval plus submission fee in this case is 0.03 plus zero point 0.4, which comes out to be simple 0.43, which means 43 cents. So instead of 43 cents, the user would be required to pay only say 1 cent, 1.26 cents, right? So this amount which user was paying will get drastically reduced by 97% as such. So depending upon the source network and the gas price as well, since the approval fee, submission fee, as well as the transfer fee is dynamic based on the current gas price. So this is how the user is actually going to save a large amount of money as such in terms when we actually switch to direct swap or we avoid, you can say, connecting to wallet as such. We go for direct swap. So how is the direct swap fee calculated? So definitely as a for the direct swap fee, we will be charging base fee, liquidity fee, extra fee and the destination gas fee along with the transfer fee. So this is what actually constitutes the direct swap fee. Now, if we notice from the end user perspective, previously user was required to pay this much amount, okay, and now the user is required to pay through direct swap this much. So, for example, when I talk about Binance as the source and say the first one, Arbitrum as the destination, the proposed total was 58 cents, $0.58, right? 58 cents. Whereas when I go to direct swap, the user would be required to pay only 17 cents, which is $0.17 as such. So if you notice, this entire cost is drastically reduced. So this fee difference is around, you can say 41 cents, more than 41 cents, and savings would be 71%. So you might be wondering that previously we were saying that 97% saving would be there for initiation, and why only 71% is reflected here. So the reason being, when you are actually calculating the saving by direct swap, you are taking into account these fees as well, right? Whereas for initiation, you are considering only the transfer fee and the approval plus submission fee. So when you take this entire amount, which is required to be paid by the end user, from that perspective, this is the saving which is done by the end user. Again, if you notice, this is definitely quite high based on the network gas price cost and combination of the source and destination as well. Okay, and finally, if you notice, we have one more column for direct swap surcharge. So, say as an exchange, if we would like to get, we would like to charge for the service that we are providing. So, as we know that we are uh, providing as well as aiming to provide the swap service in less than 60 seconds as such, based on the network conditions. So if that is the case, we can add some surcharge for the direct swap. So what can be the methodology to charge for the direct swap? So what we can do is from this fee difference, we can charge some amount. So say here as of now, if you notice, the direct swap surcharge is 0% as such. So the direct swap fee and direct swap total both are same. For example, considering the same source destination combination where we have Binance as the source and Arbitrum as the destination, your direct swap fee is 0.17, whereas here direct swap total as well is 0.17. See if I change this direct swap surcharge to say 10%. Okay, so now you notice this direct swap fee has changed to 21 cents, whereas previously it was 17 cents. So this is the way we can add some direct swap surcharge based on the source and the destination combination as well. So this is the fee model for direct swap. So if you notice,
Just
there would be, yes, Kevin.
yeah, sorry, Neeraj. Just on that, I think one of the reason why there is a lot of difference in the fee is the approval and submit cost more than 150,000 units of gas when you combine it on EVM networks. And for networks such as Arbitrum or Optimism, the fees, even though it might fluctuate, right, you don't feel that much of a difference. But for networks such as Binance and Ethereum, when the fee per unit fluctuates based on the price, because there is around more than 200,000 units, the fluctuation is pretty high. So even though the approval and submit is a process where traditionally exchanges had incorporated, we didn't feel the need of having the approval and submit and have replaced it with transfer. But to do that, our Xtalk infrastructure allows us to send the data straight away to the L1 exchange, where we understand what you want to swap, and based on that, the destination transaction is initiated once you make the transfer successfully on the source chain. So the same infrastructure is used to facilitate this, and I wouldn't be surprised that the competitors out there, once we launch this product in the next 2 to 3 months, they give it a solid attempt to compete, because although you can reduce your fees significantly, as you saw, the difference between approval and submit versus the transfer is more than 70, 80, or even 98% in some places. That's a benefit to the user, but at the same time, it allows us to charge a direct swap surcharge to incorporate it under certain networks. Now, while Neeraj goes through the other competitors' analysis based on the direct swap and the other competition, we will see where there is fat to play around with.
Yeah. Kevin, thanks for the input. Yes, definitely the high gas units that are being consumed for approval and submission are contributing to the cost of the fees as such. So when we come to the comparison of L1X fee with the other exchanges, so in our previous AMA, we had a chance to look at this comparison of the fees charged by the different exchanges. So I'll just quickly run through it. In this column, we have the source networks, and in this we have all the listed destination networks. These color codes are signifying the exchange that has been used to transfer, say, 5 USDC from the source chain to the destination chain. So, say if I start with Binance as my source network and Ethereum as my destination network, then in that case, if you notice, for the proposed model that we have, where we are connecting to the wallet, where the user is required to pay for the approval fee as well as the submission fee as such, the user will be charged this much, which is very less as such, $2.51, which is quite low as compared to other exchanges, if you notice. And if we compare it to bridges as such, then like we are quite fast in terms of speed that we provide. When it comes to Polygon, say Binance is the source and Polygon is the destination. In this case, we are charging $61, which is 61 cents as such. So if you notice, it is still a very competitive price that we are providing as compared to other exchanges, in both the terms, price as well as speed that is being provided. And when it comes to Solana, uh, we can see that it would be mostly the cheapest service that is being provided by L1X as such. Now, say if I move to AVEX, then in that case, for AVEX to Binance, we are providing the service at 92 uh, cents as such, and which is competitive as compared to say D-Bridge, Squid Router, Portal Bridge as such, and almost same as all bridge, but then definitely the speed as well matters. See, as an end user or a trader, I might not be interested to wait for say more than hardly like 1 minute or so. Definitely, no one would be willing to wait for 10 minutes or more than that as such, which is actually consumed by some of the exchanges which charge low as such. Similarly, for AVEX to Ethereum, we are charging 2.57, which is quite a low price as compared to other exchanges. So same structure you'll be able to notice when we run through different like source destination networks for different exchanges as well. So this is a common pattern that you'll be able to notice. Again, when it comes to Solana, if you notice, where Solana is the source network. Even in that case, the price that we are charging, the fee that we are charging for the swap is quite low. So say if I want to transfer from Solana to Ethereum, this is $2.75 a user would be required to pay. Whereas in case of deep ditch, if you notice, it might be as high as 10.57, 7.83, or 13.72 for all bridge as such. So definitely, in competition, we are providing quite a cheap service as such. And similarly, you can notice this for Solana to Polygon as well. So this is what a user would be charged. Definitely, the gas price dynamics do count for it, but comparatively, we are much cheaper and much faster as well. Okay, now this entire comparison was when an end user is connecting through wallet, where the user is required to pay the approval fee as well as the submission fee. So now let us move to the direct swap fee comparison, where the user is only required to pay the transfer fee, and approval and submission fee, which is the major constituent for any like swap fee, will be removed. So in this case, if you notice, the Binance to Ethereum fee is reduced to 2.09. For Polygon, it is only 19 cents. For Solana, it has reduced to 16 cents. Similarly, for Ethereum to Binance, if we would have noticed in the previous sheet, it was 8.63 based on the gas price dynamics. But still, if we go with the same gas price, we will be charged only $1.88, which is less than $2 as such when we go through direct swap. So definitely direct swap, the fees would be much lower as such. Similarly, say if I want to go from Ethereum to Polygon, you can notice it is $1.63 as such, whereas in previous case it was still more than $8. So you see there is quite a large difference when we can skip on the approval and the submission fee. Similarly, say if I want to come to Solana as the source network and other destination networks. So let us see if there is any difference. So this is the room. So as of now, for Solana to Ethereum, Solana to Binance, the first one, we will be charging say $1.10. Whereas when I go for direct swap, For the same gas price, we will be charging only 37 cents. So you see how low it is as compared to the currency model. Similarly, if from Solana to Ethereum, if I go through direct swap, it will get reduced to 2.02. Otherwise, it would have been 2.75. So still your savings is 73 cents as such, which is a significant amount considering the fees that you are paying. Similarly, this is Solana to Polygon. You are just required to pay 12 cents, which is too low as such, right? Whereas even in the proposed model, you might have been required to pay 85 cents. So uh, what we mean to say is that through direct swap, we are cutting down the cost of the swap drastically as such. And this is when we are not applying any surcharge onto it. So if any surcharge is to be applied, this direct swap fee might increase by an insignificant amount as such, which might not be noticeable to the user as such, but would definitely be beneficial for, you can say, our Xtalk infrastructure as a whole. So yes, Kevin, would you like to add anything to it?
I think going through this, right, our fee was already lower than the other exchanges for most of the token
Mhm.
pairs. But what happens in this case is because we can reduce the swap initiation fee by 70 to 99% in some cases, the fee reduces for the end user, but at the same time, we will be making almost twice as much money when we introduce in between 25 to 30% of the surcharge on the direct swap fee that is being charged by the user. So the user is still getting it at a lower price, but at the same time, even the fees on the protocol increases for the swaps. So that's number one. Number two is we are going to keep both of them active. So the Connect wallet and Direct Swap, both of them will be available to the users. But we want to push for the Direct Swap, where next week we will be releasing the beta version of the Direct Swap, and it targets the same liquidity. So the Connect wallet and the Direct Swap, they both target the same global liquidity pool that we have made available for these swaps. What is interesting is, now that we have the direct swap where no wallet connect is required, it makes perfect sense for us to have Bitcoin, and Tron integrated into the direct swap straight away. So what we will be doing is we will be releasing, Tron and Bitcoin, but we will be doing it from a single source first. So in order for you to actually send us Bitcoin, and swap it for some other token that will be made available first, and then on the other end where you want to receive Bitcoin giving away any other coins, that will be made available in the second stage. So the team has already started working on that from the receiving Bitcoin perspective and swapping it for something else. That's a faster process of integration for us at this stage. So when that happens, I think it makes complete sense because in Bitcoin you don't approve and submit anything; you just transfer the Bitcoin. So it's like a unified model that will be followed all along. But yeah, we're pretty keen on pushing this product out and technically solving the price problem, or technologically solving the price problem, not just by reducing our commission and keeping it zero, where we understand the LP guys have to make the money, right? So I think with the update coming up next week, we are all set for this thing to be used. And the other thing is that you can use it from the mobile device as well, so you would be able to make a swap straight away from the phone. Yeah, that was good. I think. Is there anything else, Dr. Neeraj, you'd like to add, or Leona, or should we move on to the questions?
We can move on to the questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so I'll start off with the questions. The first one, let's start off with Dr. Remy over here. Where do we stand in bringing new institutions or private investors? Okay, I'll probably cover up a lot of content here, and even for the other questions that are somewhere around this. So basically, right now, as I mentioned previously, there were two plans that were mentioned. The first plan was, there were people who were going to go and buy the coin and bring it up to 10 cents, number one. And number two, the plan was based on the bonus and the rights issue that we want to, provide to the community first with the underwriters. So at this particular stage, what we are going to do is we are going to focus on the second proposal, which is the bonus and the rights issue. Allowing the community members to lower the price of the coin, and at the same time, having an underwriter in there for the capital raise and for the liquidity pools. So this fund will be used mainly for the LP, and it will allow us to actually push the direct swaps, because we are going to allocate a certain amount of that for the marketing budget, and at the same time, the institutional investors, I've been speaking to a few of them, and there's another advisor coming on board, two of them coming on board, both VCs. We signed the agreements with them as well. We'll make an announcement shortly where they will be helping us, with the underwriting and with the capital required for the LP. I completely agree with the fact that we need these people, to push the direct swaps out there. So, as a matter of fact, at this stage where we are so much focusing on the direct swap and the liquidity, the capital raise is inevitable now. We are locking in quite a few things with them, and more importantly, they are helping us with the liquidity that we require on the swaps, because they love the concept of the direct swap. So that's that. So the first plan where we were supposed to go and buy the coins and raise it up to 10 cents, that's not stopped, that's paused while we focus on one thing, which is raising the cap for the liquidity mainly. Okay, the next one is, what is Kevin's relationship to ZeusDex and BlockSwan? Does he benefit financially in any way by using these two entities? I have no stake in ZeusDex. I own nothing of it. And secondly, with BlockSwan, as I mentioned previously, I am the majority shareholder in BlockSwan. Financial benefits, no. I have never had any financial benefits out of it, because the only reason, let me make it very clear, the only reason BlockSwan was set up was because, apart from the core development work where they are hired directly by the foundation based in Switzerland, hiring developers in India had a lot of legal challenges to go through. And for that specific reason, BlockSwan was incorporated, and the likes of Dr. Neeraj were hired under the BlockSwan banner. So BlockSwan has been working at cost for Layer 1x from the very beginning. We have never inflated any bills or anything like that, because I tend to believe that BlockSwan is a part of Layer 1x. That's how I like to believe of it, because BlockSwan works on no other projects except Layer 1x, and its applications. So I don't benefit financially out of it. I wish I would, but as of this right moment, or even previously, I have not. But I definitely wish I did. Okay, update on the Telegram bot and plans to promote the direct swap feature. They suggest sending someone like Matthew to attend crypto events or join online streams to spread awareness about the project rather than spending money on bloggers. Yeah, I think with the Telegram bot, the plan is still on. We are going to go ahead with it. So, and another part is that the roadmap has to be updated. So we are working on the updating the roadmap. So initially next week we will be releasing the direct swap with the updated widget with the price comparison on l1xapp.com, and it will also be available on the device, on the mobile device. That's the first version of it on the beta. And we are going to make the APIs available to the aggregators like Rango. I'm already in touch with them, so they can use these APIs, to perform direct swaps. And it's very interesting because, although we want them to change the way they allow users to swap through the aggregator straight away, don't even let the user connect wallet. But unfortunately, they will just allow the user to connect the wallet, but use our backend API to do the direct swap. So that's that. After that, we are focusing on the Telegram bots. Now, what we have done is with the marketing play and even with the rights issue raise that we are going to do, we have allocated a certain budget for the marketing of the direct swap, and we have the referral system and the NFT point systems in place. So, the referral system, we are making certain changes to the referral dashboard in there. So, the fact that you see coming from the direct swap surcharge or even the base fee can be used for providing a certain commission to the referrals to promote the swaps, number one. And also number two, at the same time, the point systems in place because we want the users to stick to it. And after while we are working on the Telegram bot, we will integrate the NFT tiering system as well with the direct swap. Now that's in place, the marketing mainly focuses on approaching the aggregators and pushing the swap APIs with them because that's a direct win for us. Like the moment they integrate the APIs, we know we are faster and cheaper than the other guys, and they're already getting the traffic. So a lot of work should be pushed into the on the aggregator level. And number two, there are these index websites where people go in and try to find certain new products like new swap protocols or new dexes and stuff. So we will be doing a bit of influencer marketing, but in a very controlled environment, so we can know that the influencer with their referral code when they market it, on performance basis, how much they can make out of it. So after the version 1, sometime this month, which is on the 26th, which also happens to make me 30 years old, we will push that towards the direct swap influences channel and the Telegram bots. Okay, so the next one is how much will it cost to complete the upcoming audit? All right, so there are two more audits remaining, which is of course, the big ones, the L1X core and the Xtalk infrastructure. So we got a quote of 60,000 Australian dollars from Hashlock for the L1X core audit, which includes two things. One is the code up to a certain checkpoint in time, and the second one is the updated features as we keep releasing. The quote was much bigger than that, but I'll try to negotiate back and forth with them on it. So that's the quote on the core. We haven't received the quote on the Xtalk infrastructure yet, but previously, with the swap contracts, with the stake contracts that we spent around $12,500 to get that audit done. So for those contracts, for the VM, we spent in between $25,000-$30,000, as total to get that part audited. It is an expensive process. Auditing is never cheap. It's an expensive process, but as we push to make this open source, that's an important thing for us to do. So we'll definitely prioritize that. Okay, the next one is I would really appreciate to have the correct tokenomics, which is by Joe, who has what? Okay, during the last MAs, we went from VCs buying a creative floor price of 10 cents. Okay, I think I've already answered this, but we already have the updated tokenomics, in the Git book. So if you go in there, we are already implementing the updated tokenomics. And the proof to that is the team. So the old tokenomics had the team with a cliff of 6 months and then the release of the coins. That's not happening. So we have to, we are going to follow the new tokenomics model. The team is not going to get the coins right now. It's already available on the Git book. I'll ask you if you can share a link when possible. Okay, the next one is Matt. At the end of the month, it will be 1 year since we are able to start single staking. Will it be able to unstake on D-Day? Will it adjust rewards for single staking as well? They are now calculated at a price of 50 cents. We will get back with the second question, but the first one is yes. I mean, it's all in the contract. So if you have staked and your maturity period has come, so you will be able to go and unstake. Okay, the next one is by Skippy. I think Skippy is mainly talking about relaunching the whole thing with a few tweaks around. We have definitely thought about something like that. Like it's not that something that has not crossed our mind, but the cost to do that is definitely very high. Like, and the way I look at it is, at this particular stage, the reason we got one specific, feature and we are going hardcore into it is, if you look at the landscape of the layer ones right now, either you raise capital or you sell your tokens. That's how they are making money, right? Um, with us, mainly, we want to make sure that we exploit our technology to the next level where the swaps are at the core of it. And even if we had to rebrand it, right, or redo certain things, we would still follow the same procedure, which is focusing on the swaps right now. Because the revenue that we can make from swaps is pretty healthy to keep this thing, as the last man standing thing for the interoperability protocols. So that's why we have taken that direction. And at the same time, when you look at the rights issue coming up and the bonus, it is rejigging the tokenomics a little bit, where it will be put up to the community, of course, first. But at the same time, we want the community to have maximum number of coins. We only gave out less than 10%. If you think about it, we raised the money, but we only gave out less than 10% of the company initially, right? So we want the community to have a major chunk of the tokens. So the bonus and the rights issue are focused on that. Yeah. Okay, the other one is by the liquidity pool LBP. So at this particular stage, as I mentioned about the rights issue and the bonus coins, the public sale buyers definitely are getting certain amount of bonus coins. We are considering it for the private sale as well. And we are considering the bonus coins for the LBP holders. So once we have that numbers firmed up and I present it to the community, sometime at the end of this month is where we are planning to open up the LBP rewards and the pool. We just want to make sure, the reason it's still held in there is we just want to make sure that the bonus coins are given out along in a way that you don't take out your liquidity immediately. So because that liquidity will be used for the swaps, and that is the reason it's taking time. And once we have those numbers firmed up, it provides a better opportunity to the LDP holders to make that decision whether they should take it out or stay in there for the bonus coins to receive. Okay, the next one is what happens to the coins set aside for wages when people leave, such as Cody and Matthew's coins. Are they still awarded their full allocation of 5% or whatever it is, even though they left within 12 months of launch? Look, I think we got to be fair with everyone on the team previously. Things happen, like sometimes I don't blame the operations and the marketing team where things can go out of hand. Sometimes when they were handling that. We will be sitting down with them to discuss that. They have not been given the points yet. So none of the points have been given to them as of yet. So we will be sitting with them and discussing, a certain part of coins were given out as bonus, as when they were not getting paid in fiat, they were getting paid in L1X coins. That's the coins they got. But their main allocation, that's not out yet. So we will sit with them and discuss this thing out. Okay, so the next one is, why doesn't DirectSwap say anything about L1X on the interface? So the first part, I mean, that's a very fair point, and we have updated the design, and we are calling it XSwap. So the community voted for XSwap. We did 2 polls, DirectSwap 1 in the first, then in between DirectSwap and XSwap 1. So we are keeping the brand name the same, but we are making certain changes to the logo and the look and feel of XSwap. Also, at the same time, there is one more thing, which is we were also thinking about starting a new Twitter handle and a new web page just for XSwap, which is create a referral link, push the XSwap just on an independent page with a new Twitter. I would like to get the community's views on this, because we already have Layer 1X. We already have L1X app, right? And if we were to start the XSwap page that exclusively only focuses on content and communications for the XSwap, what is the opinion there? So the idea was, the reason we wanted to do that was, we can exclusively not confuse the users with L1X app and XSwap. We can just at this point in time just go hardcore into what XSwap means, how it is prejudiced, just create those type of content on that Twitter. Okay, we were promised that the first text and the official text on L1X would use L1X as gas to help the network and price, but I've seen Zeus launching their own token. I think, yeah, this is a Zeus question. This is not a my question. This is for them. I don't know a lot of things that the Zeus guys are planning. Whenever there is a tech requirement, either Lionel is asked for it or I am asked for it. But when it comes to L1X as the gas fee, I don't see it as a tech specific thing. I see it as a protocol specific thing at this stage. So L1X app, as I think there was another person who asked this question previously 3 weeks ago. So at this particular stage, definitely we are charging the users in the source fee, of what you are trying to send, right? Now L1X as the universal gas fee concept is just a little spoiler here. With the direct swap, there is a way to create a bank account on blockchain, meaning you can just go and deposit certain amount in a certain account that you own. And with that concept in mind, whenever you want to remove, you can choose what amount you want to remove, right? So you go and load it with, let's say, $1,000 worth of USDC ETH, for example. And now you want to take it out. You want to take out Bitcoin, you want to take out X amount of money from there. So that concept is there. Now, how does L1X as the gas fee incorporate around this banking concept on the blockchain, where it is like a savings account, right? You prove you are the owner and you remove the money. So that is where we are trying to think about it, because even right now, if we release the product, which is L1X as the universal gas fee, the main idea over there was to make sure that all the transactions going through people hold L1X in their account, where they will have to sign it. So now that we are moving to the direct swap model, we want to make sure that it is built on top of these features, that it is not an option. Like, it becomes like a compulsory thing that you do, which is to your advantage. So we are still thinking on how this universal banking account will look like, which is a new type of a contract. But first things first, you want to release the direct swap, and then you want to focus on other features. Okay, the other one is by Dark Horse. I think Dark Horse is just speaking about the marketing budget, which I have already gone through multiple times previously. And once we get the audit report out, we will release parts of it to the community, where you will see how much money was spent segregatedly in the marketing and in the ops. Yeah. So overall, as I mentioned previously, our focus is on the swap right now. That's what we are trying to focus on. And with the two new advisors that are coming on board, both VCs, they will be supporting the protocol by bringing in liquidity for the swaps, and also being as underwriters, right, on the protocol. Just a quick update on the price, and I just wanted to let the community members know that I kind of get it, which is we definitely want the price to go up, right? And at this particular stage, I feel the revenue model on the swap can be very strong. And next week, I think Dr. Neeraj will show you the revenue projections as well, even with the current swaps that we are doing and the proposed fee model. That is a way where these new institutional advisors or VCs that are coming in, right? One of them, who is connected to not connected, but is in close connection, kind of with Temasek. these guys will definitely help us with the price. But at this stage, our eyes and focus is mainly on making sure that uh, the swap revenue increases, and that's the reason you know these guys are coming in as well. On Nitin Gaur, yes, we do have an update on Nitin Gaur. So the lawyers did find conflict of interest between Kadena and Layer 1X. So there are two strategies now. Just to replace Nitin Gaur, we approached two other VCs which have actually signed the agreement, and they are coming on. We'll make the announcement pretty soon. We are trying to work that out with Nitin Gaur, and hopefully we can work out the conflict of interest, Kadena being a layer one and us being a layer one. But the way I see it is there are two roles and responsibilities there. One was to make sure that it adds validation to the protocol, and the second one was how do we increase the price, a strategy and backup around that, right? So we do have two more people that are coming on to do that. So although it may get delayed getting Nitin Gaur on board, but with these two people coming on board, what we don't have in our control directly, with the help and support of these people, we can get those things done. So nothing is stopping for us. At this stage, we just need to make sure that we focus on the swap. We go hardcore onto the direct swap and the liquidity pools in there and start generating the revenue out of that. And more importantly than that, the validation which we want to receive from these swaps. So I hope that answers most of the questions. And I think that's what we've done. Like if something isn't working, like we don't get stuck to it. Like we find alternative solutions and we are pushing it. And same with the two VCs that are coming on board, or same with the direct swap model. So it's again, I would say it's just a phase at this particular stage, right? And with these guys coming on board and with the swaps being pushed, right? Um, I am confident that it will go back up. Like yeah. So and again, thanks to all those community members, who rigorously and have faith. I think still have faith and support Layer 1X. So I'm ready. We are ready to smash out all the competitors out there in swaps. I think I'm very excited to just focus on one single product and go hardcore into it. So we are doing everything we can, and I'm not going anywhere until this is done, right? And we will get it done. So thank you again for all your support and patience that you have had. And building a layer one infrastructure from a Perth office, is already for me. It was something that having leftover pizzas, Leonel remembers, right? And
Yeah.
sleeping on the floor. It's already a task that we are already outbeaten so many. You can't do this and you can't do that previously. Now it's come down to the fact that okay, now take the price of the coin up, and we are onto it, right? Directly, it's not possible. Indirectly, somehow we are onto it. So we are those people who you just open the slide door and we enter in, right? We'll figure it out how to get it done. So um, we are getting a lot of insights from these people on appreciating the price. So hopefully very soon the validation and the price. Yes, that's the target. Yes, I think that's all from me. Leono and Neeraj, do you have anything more to add?
Yeah, the first thing is, the liquidity coming in, the talks that are going on. So that is something that will boost the swap. Neeraj is working on the analysis as well. Excel sheets gives us a clear idea, like, how much swaps can go and how much revenue it can get in when the liquidity is in as well. And the next thing is, yes, we have the direct swaps. That's something we have been working on. But to add on to that, we have it mobile compatible. So that is reaching out to more users, and even the explorer that is going to be mobile compatible, so anyone can just do the swap and just verify the transactions on their phone. So that is just attracting more users to the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like today we had a view of like how the proposed fee model and direct swap fee we are charging as compared to different exchanges. So definitely in the next AMA, we will have a look as to how the revenue uh, would be uplifted when we go for direct swap. And say if we increase the direct swap surcharge fee, then what impact would it make? So we will have a better clarity as to how we can then lead the business from the price of the crypto perspective and the revenue perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and just two last updates. One is the staking on L1X nodes. So that work is in progress. We are planning to launch it before the 15th of next month. And number two is for the direct swap. One of the drawback that we had seen was you had to copy paste your wallet address every time, like go in there, copy paste it, and then they recognize your wallet address. So we are linking that to your username. So if you go in there, you put your username in, and it will recognize. It will do a reverse lookup, and it will know that's your wallet address that you are aiming for. That's a reverse lookup mechanism on the chain. So moving forward, you just put in your username, you'll get all your data about your swaps. So you don't have to copy paste the wallet addresses every time. You remember your username, you just put it in there. We just want to reduce the number of times you go to your wallet and come back to that. So the username thing makes complete sense, like to have it right now. Some of them have like the username number one. So if you just put number one, and just transfer it from your wallet, it will recognize your wallet address. So that's the update on the other end. Yes, I think we answered most of the questions, and next week we'll go through the demonstration of the direct swap, and we're looking forward to speaking to you again. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.